Well, 2022 was a disappointing year for the markets, that's for sure. No way to get around it. So let's say goodbye to 2022. I think things will be better in 2023. I just would like to remind you that we've had 3 years of incredible returns before 2022. So this slight correction and things that are happening is not unusual. Hi, I'm Teri and you're watching the Modest Economist channel. But I'm not here today to talk about what happened in the markets, what's going to happen in the markets. I'm here to talk about a little story I saw that, again, really intrigued me. I get caught up in these little stories. I see a little something go by and it's like, I wonder what that's about. The story that I saw was about 10 social media influencers being arrested in a $100 million, what's called a pump and dump scheme. And a pump and dump scheme is when you talk up a stock, you buy a stock at a low price, then you start to talk it up, more people buy, the price goes up, and as soon as the price hits a certain point, you sell all your stock. That's called a pump and dump. Apparently, these Finfluencers really were doing just that. So they were using their huge communities of social media to start talking about stocks, to buy stocks and then drive up interest and then sell the stocks and make a big profit. So this is something that has actually kind of bothered me a little bit, the whole Finfluencers and social media influencers who do talk about investments and do talk about stock investing and recommend stocks because they're not registered brokers. They've never had to go through the kind of scrutiny that anybody who's legitimate in the business does. So for example, they don't have to take all of the licensing requirements. They don't have to go through the annual educational classes that we all had to go through. I mean, it goes on and on. There are so many rules, so many regulations, so many things you have to attest to be able to legitimately sell stocks that, I just didn't get it. I didn't get it how just because somebody's on social media, they could recommend stocks without any experience, really any background. Anyway, you get the picture. So the fact that 10 people were actually arrested and charged, I don't know if that's really going to make a difference in terms of other social media influencers. I think it's really become, I don't want to say an addiction, but maybe not the best place to go for financial advice. And as you can probably tell, I'm not big on social media. I'm not even great making these YouTube videos. I still haven't figured out all of the cool things that I could be doing because I have other things that I want to do. But I do want to share with you information that could really help you make decisions. I mean, that's really what I'm all about. It isn't about having a gazillion followers. It isn't about making a ton of money through what I'm telling you about in my videos. And what's also important for me is sort of staying on the right side. In other words, I'm not going to talk about things that I know could be a red flag for the SEC. And one of them is talking about individual stocks or recommending individual stocks. Now, sure, I can name companies in a historical context or in an economic context or something that's interesting about them, but I'm never going to say, I really think you should go out and buy this stock. This is really a great time. It's really a great deal. No, don't do it. Don't say it. You never want to say it. And when I think about how much I've written over the last now 5 years, on my website you can find over 100 articles, and I think I'm now at around 50 videos I'm a thoughtful person. I like to take my time. It's one of the reasons I don't make videos every day. It's one of the reasons I don't try to write something and publish it every day. I want to build reliable content that's based actually on my 30 plus years working on Wall Street and going through the steps, going through my own type of due diligence process to make sure that when I do say something or I do write something, I can back it up. In other words, if you came to me and said, you know, I don't really believe your numbers that you wrote about something, I can say, well, here's the data. I took this from this, Bureau of Labor Statistics website. So I use what I would call very trusted websites to do research. I'm not looking for opinions, and I think that's the difference. So just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. The people who are on social media and who are now, I guess, being investigated much more closely. I think it should have happened a lot sooner, but we think that about a lot of things. So it's a step, and I do think, I will tell you that I think 2023 will be better. The couple of things that I can say, why I do believe it, is that the Fed has done most of the work. It doesn't mean that they are going to stop raising rates. I think they actually will probably raise rates a couple of more times, but they've already raised interest rates 425 basis points, and it takes a long time for that to flow through to the economy where we actually see all of the different economic impacts that they're looking for. Yes, they are very data dependent, and so 1 month or 1 quarter isn't going to be enough for them to change direction. What they're looking for is an ongoing direction in the right direction. So in terms of bond prices and investing in bonds, if we do see that the Fed raises rates to around 5%, I would say that's a very good time and opportunity to invest in some short-term bonds. And what will happen eventually, and it will happen, is that the Fed will start to lower interest rates again. This is just all part of the financial economic cycle that we go through. And when that starts to happen, and when people see signs that the economy is stable, we already have full employment, even though it sounds like sometimes we don't, I think that's when we're going to see companies start to do better. What we're still seeing, especially in the tech sector, are layoffs. That doesn't mean that people are not employed, because there's always, every month, people are getting fired, people are getting hired, and hey, maybe that will be my next article, is that I can really show you what happens in terms of employment and sort of understanding what's beneath the employment data. So I'm gonna try to keep this short. I've already gone on too long, but please visit the website, www.themodesteconomist.com. Lots of articles, videos. I have other kind of interesting things that I've put on there, but I hope to see you again, and thank you for joining me today.